Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the year-end audit meeting. I'm sorry, the last audit meeting of the year. Suppose I have the wrong paper in front of me, that rookie mistake. Okay, so the Audit and Administration Committee meeting for December 19th, 2024. If we could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Legislator Goldman, if you could lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. If we could have a roll call.
Legislator Elner?
Here.
Legislator Goldman?
Present.
Chairman Castellano?
Present. Okay. Okay, item number 3 on our agenda tonight is correspondence from the county auditor. These are FYIs that are in front of us tonight as we go through them every month. 3A is the sales tax report that we get every month. We're in great shape for 2024. We still have one more month to be reported, which should come shortly, but we've met our target goal for the year, which was the $77,500,000 mark. We overpassed that. We have $78,382,934 that we have been received, not including December of 2024. So we did a great job with that. Any questions or comments from any of the committee members? Any in the audience? Okay, that was just an FYI. And moving on to 3B is the Board and Revenue Report. Another solid month in the Sheriff's Department there. We're right on target for the year. Very close to the target mark at that. Questions or comments? Any of the legislators? Okay. Moving on to 3C is the Transfer Revenue Report. Again, just an FYI, if anybody has any questions or comments. Committee members or legislators? Okay. 3D is the 2024 Contingency Sub-Contingency Report. We have no proposed deductions for this month as we're at year's end here. Questions or comments? Okay. Moving on to item number 4, correspondence from the Commissioner of Finance. Thank you, Mr. Lewis, for joining us tonight.
Chairman.
First on the agenda is 4A is the overtime temporary report for the year. Obviously, we've maxed out on every agenda, and we're going to move some money around in every category to cover any costs.
That'll be part of next month's year-end entries.
Mm-hmm. So we're in very good shape for the year. That's off to all the department heads who kept this all in line here this year. Questions or comments from any of the legislators? We'll move on to 4B, which is the approval of budgetary amendment for the Sheriff's Department, overtime expenses. This was also reviewed in Protective Services earlier this month. 4B. This is incoming money from some of the responsibilities that the sheriff handled for schools and outside services in the amount of $62,769.89 of incoming money. It goes to the Sheriff's Department to cover overtime. Pretty straightforward, zero fiscal impact. Any questions or comments? Any committee members, legislators, public? Okay, I'll make a motion to move this to the full. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
4C is the approval of budgetary amendment for DPW insurance recoveries, guardrail damages on Crane Road. This was also reviewed in Physical Services earlier this month. This is insurance money that's going to come in to help pay the costs of the repairs that we did, in the amount of $5,317.16. Great work by our officers there, Matt Bruno especially, always on top of these issues with the insurance companies. Zero fiscal impact. Questions or comments? I'll make a motion to move it to the full. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4D is the approval of budgetary amendment for the Sheriff's Department insurance recovery vehicle repairs, also reviewed in Protective Services earlier this month. This is in the amount of $12,735.19. Again, this is incoming money to cover the cost of our expenses and repair our fleets, etc. Questions or comments? Again, zero fiscal impact for this year. I'm going to make a motion to move it to the full. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
4C is the approval of budgetary amendment, again, for the Sheriff's Department, utilize federal seized assets.
4E.
4E. What did I say, C?
Yes.
4E, approval of a budgetary amendment for the Sheriff's Department to utilize federally seized assets, forfeiture funds, firearm-related equipment. This was reviewed in Protective Services earlier this month. This is in the amount of $150,000. Again, incoming money, thanks to the federal government. Questions or comments? Okay, the sheriff will put this money to good use. Again, zero fiscal impact for the taxpayers of Putnam County, which is always good news. I'll make a motion to move it to the full. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
4F is the approval of budgetary amendment for emergency services, state land, Homeland Security Program. This is a grant award to Putnam County. This was also reviewed in Protective Services earlier this month. Zero fiscal impact as it is federal aid that we're receiving. Two revenue sources, I believe, one for $152,575, the second one for $82,156, which we're going to move to the appropriate funds to cover uniforms, other equipment, medical supplies, motor vehicles, contract, rescue equipment, and other equipment as well. Again, great work by people here allocating this grant, saving the taxpayers a considerable amount of money, zero fiscal impact to us.
Chairman, if I can just add.
Please.
Pursuant to the letter, at least 35% based on the federal guidelines you have to give towards the Sheriff's Department for terrorism preventive activities.
Okay.
So that's what the two revenue sources are.
I see, that's what the split is. Great. Any other questions or comments from anybody? Okay, I'll make a motion to move it to the full. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to 4G. It's approval of a budgetary amendment for emergency services, the Emergency 911 Dispatch Center Law Enforcement Technology Program Grant Award. This was also reviewed in Protective Services earlier this month. This is incoming money in the amount of $255,000, which will go to software accessories and programs within the department at the 911 center. Any questions or comments? Again, zero fiscal impact, and we'll put the money to good use. I will make a motion to move it to the full. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
4H is the approval of budgetary amendment for Department of Social Services. This is funding received for Putnam County Suicide Prevention Task Force to develop local outreach to suicide survivors team. This is to be approved next month at the reorganizational meeting in January, but we're moving it's incoming money, zero fiscal impact, in the amount of $12,480, and we're putting them in the appropriate allocations, and we'll take it up in January. Anything you want to add to that?
Like I said, it's a grant they're going to go through, and they're going to hire a temp. If you look through the paperwork, there's a job spec for it, and I don't know if it's going to go into being a full-time position, but they're, for now, temp. So just to cover the cost of that.
All right. Any other questions or comments from anyone? Again, zero fiscal impact, and this will be taken up in January at the January 7th organizational meeting. I'll make a motion to move it forward. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 5 is the approval of a fund transfer for the Sheriff's Office corrections overtime. This was also reviewed in Protective Services. We are moving some money around to cover the overtime since they are a bit short-staffed still in that department, but zero fiscal impact as the sheriff had it within his budget to cover the cost. In total, it was $2,499.83. Great work by the sheriff's department, again, keeping our costs down as much as possible. Questions or comments? This is just for signature, so it's not going to the full. Anybody have any concerns, questions? I'll make a motion to sign. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 6 is the approval of a fund transfer for Department of Social Services to cover projected costs through year end. Also reviewed in health earlier this month. We are moving some money around to reallocate funds to cover the projected costs towards the end of the year. In total, it's $299,500. Considerable amount, but within our budget, zero fiscal impact. Questions or comments?
If I could just make a general statement.
Please do.
Items 6, 7, and 8 are pretty much the same thing, but it's due to, the attendance that's increased, rate increases from the state. These are mandated costs.
Yeah, we're paying our bills here and certainly.
Yep.
Yes, Legislator Sage.
Did we, I can't recall what the account line payments to recipients, what is that?
I believe that division,
Budget, I just can't remember.
it's a Committee for Special Education, CSC. I can look that up for you.
Yeah, because we did ask this during the health, when we talked about this the first time, and I just realized
Yep.
that I didn't follow up on that, and,
There's too many acronyms
I know.
and divisions, so I can find out for you if you want. That's not a problem. Yep.
Okay, we're going to, unless there's any other questions or comments, we're going to move it to the full. I'll make a motion to move it to the full. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we'll have a few more, exact same thing Mr. Lewis just mentioned. Number 7 is the approval of fund transfer, again, for Department of Social Services to cover the projected costs through the year end. This one is in the amount of $520,000, zero fiscal impact as we had money in the budget to cover the costs. Again, increased cost demanded from the state, and here we are paying our bills again, which is a good thing. Any questions or comments on this one? I'll make a motion to move it to the full. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of fund transfer for Department of Social Services to cover projected costs through year end again. Also reviewed in the Health Committee earlier this month. This one, again, is in the amount of $470,000. Again, we're covering our costs to the end of this year. Zero fiscal impact as we had the money in the budget where we could move it to cover the costs. Questions or comments? I'll make a motion to move it to the full. I'll have a second. Oh,
Second.
I'm sorry, no, we're on 8, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to go to the full. I'll make a motion to move it forward. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item number 9 is the approval of fund transfer for Health Department to cover for a reception area. Also reviewed in Health. We're moving some money around to cover our costs to the end of this year for receptionists, 2 clerks that have been out. It's in the amount of $4,835, and again, within the budget. This is for signature, so it's not going to the full. Pretty straightforward, but something that needs to be done. Questions or comments? I'll make a motion to sign. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 10 is the approval of a fund transfer for the Sheriff's Department Corrections, overtime due to vacancies. Also reviewed in personnel earlier this month. It's vacancies for September, October, November, cover some overtime costs that we had in the Corrections Office. In total, it's $15,756. Zero fiscal impact. Again, great job by the sheriff to keep everything within the budget that we didn't have to pull any money out of. And I'll open up to any questions or comments. Okay, I'll make a motion to move it to the full. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Item number 11 is the approval of fund transfer for the Health Department preschool administration costs. Again, these are costs that have gone up in 2024. We're moving some money around again, fortunately, so it'll be zero fiscal impact. It's in the amount of $82,000 we had within our budget, but it's again due to increased costs. Questions or comments? I'll make a motion to move it to the full. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item number 12 is the approval of fund transfer for finance. This is salary and benefit costs pursuant to a recent contract settlement with PCSEA, the union. This was reviewed in personnel, and it'll be held over until next month's organizational meeting as it reflects the 2025 budget. But it's good news that have our contract settled, and it's a fair contract on both sides. Great work by all involved. Any questions or comments? I'll make a motion to move it to the organizational meeting in January. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 13 is the approval of fund transfer for Department of Social Services, training for newly hired children's SPOA coordinator. Also reviewed in personnel earlier this month. This is going to go to the organizational meeting if approved. We're just moving some money around to cover the costs for this. Questions or comments? It's in the amount of $9,391. I'll make a motion to move it to the organizational meeting in January. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 14 is the approval of a fund transfer reclassification account clerk to IT operations assistant. Also reviewed in personnel earlier this month. This again affects the 2025 budget. Hopefully they can hire someone as quickly as possible as we're moving money to cover the costs in this new position. Questions or comments? Make a motion to move it to the organizational meeting in January. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 15 is the approval of fund transfer for finance, Sheriff's Department, to adjust personnel budget. This is, again, for the 2025 budget. We're moving some money around to cover the costs on this one. We're just actually savings in
We're
this one.
saving.
Yeah. $9,660,
Correct.
correct?
Correct, yep.
Anything you want to add to that, or?
No, it was just, if you look at the next page, this just shows the analysis of how it was compounded wrongly, wrong if you want to say, and that when we went back and looked at the contract and recalculate the numbers, that's what we came up with. So it was actually good budgetary savings.
Okay. Questions or comments? Again, this is for the organizational meeting in January, so I'll make a motion to move it to that. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 16 is an FYI. It's the 2024 guardrail and property damage table that gets presented to us every month. If anybody has any questions or comments? Okay. Moving on to item number 17 is other business. I have a couple of items I'd like to add to the agenda. 17A, if I could, I'd like to make a motion to add this to other business. This is a change in the funding source of a project that we have. Do I have a second to add it to the agenda?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Would you like to speak about this one, Mike?
I
$650,000?
just don't have that one in front of me.
Here.
Okay, thank you, I got it, thank you.
Use sales tax money, I guess, to cover the cost for this.
Yeah, so what you spoke about, we're already starting to take that surplus money. Yeah, this was presented in the 2024 capital plan. It's in the minutes, it went through the capital committee, and it was presented that it was QUP money. QIP money. They were DPW was about to do the requisitions today, and then it actually, after talking to Commissioner, Tommy, he had mentioned that that's not an appropriate use of funds, and we did some research, and we just wanted to switch the funding. So it's already been an approved project, and this is for the maintenance and the repairs of the various dams in the county.
All right, $650,000, we'll take it out of sales tax revenue that we have, and we're in good shape with that, I guess. Any questions or comments? Yes, sir, Legislator Elner.
WQIP, Water Quality Improvement Funds. We've had these funds for a very long time in our budget. And what we've noticed in some of the other uses is that there's now a 2024 current schedule, and no one over at the DEP has been able to tell us if this schedule matches up with the old schedule. So what may have been an approvable use in the past may not be an approvable use now. So I understand why you have to do this.
Yep.
Okay. Anyone else? I'll make a motion to move it to the full. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 17B, I'd like to make a motion to add this to other business. This is a transfer for the 911 dispatch overtime for the year end of 2024. I'll make a motion to add it to the agenda as other business. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is in the amount of $43,000 that we have to cover for our dispatch center, and the amount of overtime that has been accrued until the end of the year, and we should be in good shape with that. Pretty straightforward. Zero fiscal impact, as we had money within the budget. Any questions or comments? I'll make a motion to move it to the full. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item 17C, again, other business. I'll make a motion to add this to other business. This is a transfer for a temporary line that we'd like to use for the remainder of 2024 for the Bureau of Emergency Services. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Again, fortunately, we have the money within our budget in 2024. It's an amount of $3,100 to cover the cost of a temporary in the office there. Zero fiscal impact. Just paying our bills to the end of the year. Any questions or comments? Oh, this is a signature, I'm sorry, you're right. So this is just not going to the full, but it's going to be a signature, so if anybody has any questions or comments. I'll make a motion to sign. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. With that, unless anybody has any other business on the committee, I will make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Thank you.
Nice job, Chairman.
Good evening, welcome to the year-end meeting of the Putnam County Legislature. Today is December the 19th, 2024. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to recognize Legislator Castellano.
I pledge allegiance to
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing as I call on Legislator Nasarino to lead us in the legislative prayer.
We need to serve our community, to use our resources wisely and well, to represent all members of our community fairly, to make decisions that promote the common good. We recognize our responsibility to the past and the future, and the rights and needs of both individuals and community. As trusted servants, we seek blessings on our deliberations and on our efforts here today. May we act wisely and well. Amen.
Roll call, please.
District 1, Legislator Montgomery. District 2, Legislator Goldman. District 3, Legislator Adnizio. District 4, Legislator Nasarino.
Present.
District 5, Legislator Elner.
Here.
District 7, Legislator Castellano.
Present.
District 8, Legislator Sage.
Present.
District 9, Legislator Crowley.
Present.
District 6, Chairman Yonke.
Present. Before we move forward with the meeting tonight, I'd just like to, I know there are folks in the audience that are here thinking that we were going to discuss something about the Ag Board or rules changing. There's nothing on the agenda tonight, nor will it be brought up under other business, and there will not be an opportunity for public comment because it's not an agenda item. So I'll tell you that ahead of time. You're welcome to stay. Item number 4 is the acceptance of minutes. The regular meeting, October 1st, 2024, and the special meeting of November the 12th, 2024. Item number 5, pre-filed resolutions. Personnel Committee, which is myself, Legislators Castellano and Nasarino. It's 5A is the approval of a fund transfer. It's the Sheriff's Department jail overtime. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 5B is the approval of a local law establishing the 2025 salary of certain elected officials serving for fixed terms. This is something that's routine. We do it every year. Discussion. I'll ask for a roll call vote, please.
Legislator Adnizio.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Crowley.
No.
Legislator Elner.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman.
Yes.
Legislator Montgomery. Legislator Nasarino.
Yes.
Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Chairman Yonke.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 5C, approval of a local law establishing the 2024 salaries of certain appointed officers serving for fixed terms. Similar to the last resolution, it's something that's routine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 5D is the approval of 2025 salaries for officers and employees paid from the county. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Next items are from the Health, Social, Education, and Environmental Committee, which is Chairwoman Sage, Legislators Crowley and Goldman. Item 5E is the approval of a fund transfer. It's from the Department of Social Services, reflected project costs through 12/31/24, the Committee for Special Education and Adoption Subsidy federally participating. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Item 5F is the approval of a fund transfer. It's the Department of Social Services, reflect projected costs through 12/31/24 for daycare. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Item 5G is the approval of a fund transfer. Department of Social Services. It's to reflect projected costs through 12/31/24 daycare, the Committee for Special Education. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 5H is the approval of a reappointment Putnam County Board of Health. This is for Dr. Daniel Doyle to be reappointed. The term would expire on December 31st, 2029. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Next items are the Physical Services Committee, it's Chairman Elner, and Legislators Castellano and Crowley. Item 5I is the approval of a budgetary amendment for the Department of Public Works. It's the insurance recovery for guardrail damages, Crane Road. The money that comes in from this, we owe thanks to Matt Bruno down in the, who's our risk manager down in the county attorney's office. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Item 5J is the approval, Putnam County Veterans Memorial Park revised fee schedule. It's DPW. I would like to make a motion to accept the revised schedule. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. On the agenda item, discussion, the amended fee schedule. Yes, Legislator Elner.
The only revision is some verbiage. We've changed what said camping to overnight stay on premises during events with written permission. All other items remain the same and no dollar amount changed.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Next items are from the Protective Services Committee. That's Chairwoman Nasarino, Legislators Addonizio and Sage. Item 5K. It's the approval of a budgetary amendment in the Sheriff's Office. It's reimbursement, Carmel and Brewster Summer School, New York State Stop DWI Foundation, Inc., Drug Recognition Expert, DRE callouts, Deputy Outside Services. It's in the amount of $62,769. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Item 5L. The approval of a budgetary amendment, Sheriff's Office, reimbursement from NYMER and New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Item 5M is the approval of budgetary amendment to Sheriff's Office, Federal Seized Asset Forfeiture Funds. It's to purchase equipment. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Item 5N is the approval of a budgetary amendment, Emergency Services State Homeland Security Program grant. It was in the amount of $152,575. Discussion.
Chairman, excuse me, on that, if you look at the backup, under the increased revenues, the last account line was inadvertently omitted on the resolution. I'll add it to the resolution and add Sheriff's Office to the title.
Okay. Do we need to amend it here, or can you just add it?
I'll add it, it's just really a typo.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Item 5O, bless you. Approval of a budgetary amendment for emergency services, New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services, Law Enforcement Technology grant program. Is in the amount of $255,000. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Next items are from the Rules, Enactments, and Intergovernmental Relations Committee. That's Chairwoman Addonizio, Legislators Elner and Nasarino. Item 5P is the approval of reappointments to the Putnam County Board of Electrical Examiners. It's Robert Coonahan from Town of Southeast. The terms to expire December 31st, 2027. Andrew Padala, Town of Phillipstown, term to expire December 31st, 2027. William Rossiter, Town of Carmel, term to expire December 31st, 2027. Discussion. I'd like to thank them for their volunteerism. We appreciate all that they do, all of our volunteers. All in favor? Aye. Item 5Q is the approval, Town of Kent American Rescue Plan Act and sales tax funding reallocation. This is for the dam project in town of Kent. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Item 5R is the approval. Revocable license for use agreement allowing White Plains Vet Center to establish an outstation in Putnam County to provide counseling services. Our Veterans Coordinator, Mr. Rhodey, is supporting this. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Next items are from the Audit and Administration Committee. Which is Chairman Castellano, didn't want to forget him tonight. Legislators Elner and Goulman. Item 5S is the approval of a fund transfer for the Health Department. It's preschool excessive school district administrative. This is in the amount of $82,000. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Item number 6 is other business. I'd like to add item 6A to other business. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. That would be the approval of the collector tax warrants and to enter into the 2024 Book of Proceedings. I also have additional. I'd like to make a motion to accept the additional. All in favor? Aye. Discussion on the item? This is something that we get every year. These are the warrants from the tax collectors. All in favor? Aye. I'd like to make a motion to add item 6B, which is the approval of the date, time, and place of the organizational meeting for 2025. It will take place on Tuesday, January 7th, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the historic courthouse. Discussion.
A second.
Oh, I'm sorry, second. All in favor? Aye. On the agenda item. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. I'd like to make a motion to add item 6C as other business. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. This is the approval of a fund transfer for emergency services, the E911 Dispatch Center overtime. This is in the amount of $43,000. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Item 6, I'd like to make a motion to add item 6D to the agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Item 6D is the approval of a budgetary amendment. It's finance, DPW, capital projects. It's repairs to county-owned dams. It's in the amount of $650,000. We just spoke about this in audit a little while ago. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Does anyone have any other business to bring up? I'll move on to item 7, which is recognition of public on agenda items. Any member of the public wishing to speak about any item on the agenda, please step forward. Just state your name and the town in which you reside.
Susan Coppins, the ARPA funds to be reallocated
At the request of the town.
of the supervisor, but the address is incorrect of the town hall.
Okay, well, can you leave us
I didn't know.
can you leave that with us, and we'll look into it, and if necessary, correct it?
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? Then I'll move on to item 8, which is recognition of legislators. Any member of the legislature wishing to speak? Legislator Adenizio.
Thank you. I just want to say this is the last meeting for legislators Jenny and Joe, and you will be missed. In 2019, Legislator Castellano initiated the Putnam County Veterans Medal Advisory Panel, and I was proud to be a part of that along with Legislator Nassarino. was a very proud moment in Putnam County. We worked very hard. The medal was designed and crafted by Michael Karobian, and we reenacted from 100 years ago, when the medal was first given out, 1919, for our World War I returning veterans. And it was on the courthouse steps at the time. And the Highway Department decorated the courthouse with just so it was in 1919, and it was absolutely beautiful. And they all came forward, and we had a wonderful ceremony honoring our veterans. And I'm very, very proud. And I just want to say that you both, my colleagues, will be missed tremendously on the legislature. Thank you for your hard work and dedication to the people of Putnam County.
Thank you.
Legislator Goldman.
Thank you, Chairman. As mentioned by my colleague Adamizio, this is the last meeting for the two legislators, Catalano and Nazareno. Both of you have served the county legislature for 12 years. I have served for 10 years. It's been a pleasure to work with you guys for the last 10 years. Over that 10-year period, we've agreed and disagreed on many different issues. If we agreed on all of them, there'd be something wrong, we wouldn't be doing the people's business. I wish you both all the best of whatever you do in the future, and good luck. There's also a wonderful time of year, and I would like to wish everyone a happy holiday, happy Hanukkah, happy Merry Christmas, and a very happy and healthy New Year. Thank you.
Legislator Sage.
I'd just like to wish well Legislators Nasarino and Legislator Castellano. They've been a huge asset on the legislature. I know Legislator Nasarino and Legislator Castellano have served their communities in many, many different ways over decades of service through our counties, through their towns, through the county, and Legislator Nasarino at her school. We're going to miss each one of them in their community service. Hopefully they're not done yet. We look forward to your guidance and counsel. We're losing a lot of institutional knowledge here on the legislature, and hopefully we'll be able to come back and bend your ear. And you will definitely be missed. Your friendship, of course, will continue. But thank you for all that you've done in the legislature. And I've really, each of you have been my mentors on the legislature, and I thank you for everything.
Legislator Elner.
Being one of the newest legislators, when we say you're going to be missed, you're really going to be missed. You've always said, and you've lived by, do the right things for the right reasons, which is what we should be all about. You are two truly dedicated public servants. I will miss you, the public will miss you, and the rest of the legislature will miss you. Godspeed and good luck with all your future endeavors.
Anyone? Jenny?
It has been an honor and a privilege to serve for the last 12 years, and work with the wonderful staff that we have here. I miss everyone. The department heads are all wonderful and hardworking. I wish everyone best in 2025. I wish some harmony and not so much strife and angst that has been going on the last year or so. Hopefully that will come to an end, but it has been my greatest pleasure serving the community and being a public servant for over 25 years. I look forward to retirement. All the best.
Legislator Crowley.
Thank you both for your service. It's certainly been easy. I've learned a lot the past couple of years. We've agreed, we've disagreed, but it certainly is a public service, and I'm sure everybody is appreciative and thankful of the dedication and hard work you've put in over the years. And so thank you.
Joe?
Sure.
You don't have to say anything.
I will. It's been a tremendous honor and a privilege to do this job. Putnam County is a fantastic place to live. I had the pleasure of moving up here in 1998, which seems like forever ago, a century, and raising a couple kids here, and it's just a fantastic place, and I was happy to be part of it. I'm a career public servant, 29 plus years in Westchester. was on the zoning board for 8 years, enjoyed that time, and people reached out to me to run for this position. I was blown away, I was honored, and I want to thank all you guys, all the legislators, even the ones that have passed, and I still remember Richie Offmer's famous words 12 years ago when he decided to give it up, but it is an incredible job. We've done great things in Putnam County over the last 12 years.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to have voted for term limits 12 years ago. And it's such a strange phenomenon. 12 years goes by so quickly, but yet it's a long period of time. And I had the benefit of being on the legislature. I was thinking about this the other day. With President Obama for 4 years, President Trump for 4 years, President Biden for 4 years, and it was 4 years. But it was just fascinating, and it's so fun to learning all this stuff, and the history of Putnam County, the medal that we did was fantastic. I mean, there's so many great things in this county. It's such a pleasure to be a part of it, and I look forward to, hopefully doing something in the future. I plan on hopefully growing old here and watching some grandkids someday.
Not too soon.
But both my kids, you know what, it's crazy that Putnam County is so great, they love growing up here, but both of them would move away, like a lot of other young people. But I think in the last 12 years, we've improved the golf course, the Foster Farm, so many other things, that bike path, which has been fantastic. I'd like to thank the staff here, the legislature staff has been fantastic. Both Diane's, Diane Schofield, which I can't pronounce her name correctly, Diane T, I'm not going to try. Both Diane's have been fantastic, and the staff as well, Beth and Eddie, and everybody else over the years.
Michelle.
And of course, Michelle, who's been working with for 12 years, and constant phone calls and emails. She does a fantastic job at Audit and makes the job so much easier, as does the entire staff. I'd like to thank the former, can I keep going?
We got all night.
I'd like to thank all the former legislators that we had in the past, including Roger Gross, one of my favorite people. I was served in Paul's seat and previous to Paul, and of course Paul was one of my fellow town members here, and Carl Albano, and so many others, and that just made this a tremendous place to work. And the former county executive, Mary Ellen Odell, did a fantastic job for all these years. I'd like to give a shout out to her and her staff. It's fantastic. And I know Kevin Burnham will do great things in the future. And separate but equal branches of government. I know you guys will believe that, and continue to do the good work of Putnam County. Low taxes, provide, do good stuff. My time is up.
You keep going. Shut this down. I'm not shutting you down. I'd like to just say farewell to Ginny and Joe. Ginny, you were the chairwoman when I came on board 8 years ago. Your leadership, I learned a lot from your leadership. 99% of our issues, we were on the same side and we had each other's backs, and you always had my back, I think, and I appreciate that all these years. And people at Patterson, really, they're going to miss you. And Joe, we shared town of Southeast together. We were on the phone almost every day talking about. No, that was it. It's you're done. But the stability. I mentioned this the other day. The stability that you bring or brought, past tense, to the legislature. I said the other day. I said you don't say much, but what you say means a lot. And I'm thankful for your guidance, because after Ginny's chairwomanship, you were the chairman, and once again, your leadership. We all learn from that kind of leadership. Tonight is my last night as the chairman of the legislature. I've had the opportunity to be here for 2 terms, and that's enough. But I want to say thank you to my colleagues for the support that I've gotten over the last 2 years. I'd like to thank the department heads for being so good to work with. You guys never going to get the credit that you guys deserve. But the department heads, the elected officials, our sheriff, our district attorney, our county clerk, you guys, the people of Putnam County are lucky to have you all. Rob, I couldn't have made the last 2 years without your guidance. You are something special. We're lucky to have you. And the public should know that. Michelle, in auditing, your staff has been so good to me. I've learned a lot the last 2 years. And finally, our staff, Diane Schoenfeld, Diane Trabulsi, Beth, Ed, you guys are top-notch. I think you know that, but you should hear it in public, and the public should hear that you guys are really an asset to Putnam County, and I've been lucky to work with you as closely as I have for the last 2 years. So with that, I'm going to say happy holidays to everybody, have a happy new year, and we'll see, some of us will see you next year. Good night. A motion to adjourn?
Second.